we're going to talk about vowel indicators. Now this is something that most students struggle with initially because you've got to remember which slope to use for each indicator. First of all, what do we mean by a vowel indicator? We know our vowels A, E, I, O and U. There's our 5 vowels or our 5 babies. Now an indicator is half of that. Now you'll hear me use the phrase down where possible, up where necessary. I'll use that phrase over and over. So when we're deciding which half to use as an indicator, it's the downward half, because down where necessary. So the A goes up and down, we're going to use the downward half. The E goes down and across, so we're going to use the downward half. The I goes down and up, so we're going to use the downward half. The O, there is no indicator, so we don't have to remember that. The O is an indicator in its own right. And the U is exactly the same as the E. Just to be awkward, we can't write a full U. We don't write a full U. When do we use these indicators? We know that we use indicators when a vowel begins a word and that vowel is sounded, or when a vowel ends a word and that vowel is sounded. So we don't write the full vowel, we write the indicator. You need lots of practice to remember which vowel slopes which way. And the way I used to do it is, I used to think of a vase of flowers in the form that I would draw it if I was a child at school. So I've got a petal, a stem, a petal, and then the flower on the top. So that's A, E, I, and that E also says U. So if you like, it's 2, and that's the stem that takes the water to the flower. So that's how I used to remember it. You have a different way of doing it, that's absolutely fine, but we each have our own way of deciding which way goes which. So if I had a word like am, for example, I've got the A indicator and I've got the M. I've got to write the A because it's an initial vowel that's sounded, so I write A and M. That says the word am. If I was to write the word it, I've got an I need to write it because it's the initial vowel that's sounded, and I've got a T. So I've got to remember, where's the I? It's going down in that way, and the T is on the T line. I-T. Now the E, if I had a word like eat, I need both the E and the T, so the E comes straight down. E-T. Now these two are in most common use. We don't use the E indicator or the U indicator anywhere near as much. We might use the U indicator for a word like unit. U indicator, N and T. If we did that same outline lower, it wouldn't say unit, it would say end, E-N-D. So that's why we've sent that teenager upstairs. But U indicator is the purpose of that explanation. So A, I, E, and U is the same as E. So now I'm going to give you a few word examples, or Rose will give you a few word examples and see if you can get them right.